England is having a terrible run of form. When it comes to big games, the Three Lions are notorious for getting nervous. Gareth Southgate may have reached his limit as England's manager, but his team is still young and can learn a lot from the greats who came before them. In particular, from the youthful and talented teams that was supposed to challenge for the World Cup and European Championship in the early 2000s, but is instead mainly regarded as a failure. Many believe that once Sven-Göran Eriksson was replaced by Fabio Capello, England's fortune began to decline, and this was ultimately responsible for their failure to win a major tournament. We'll analyze why England's golden generation of players couldn't live up to the hype they generated, and why they ultimately fell short of championships they'd been expected to win. It appeared that England had some of the world's greatest players between the years 2001 and 2010. Fans had high hopes that this squad may break the tournament's winless streak, which had stretched back to 1966. All across the England football squad were stars now flourishing in the Premier League and Champions League. At the time, England's clubs held a near monopoly on European competitions. England's Big Four consisted of Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal, and Chelsea. A large number of their players also contributed to the England squad at the time. However, it just didn't work out. There were goals that even the so-called golden generation just couldn't seem to reach. Despite having so much quality and skill on hand, they were unable to achieve the acclaim that was anticipated of them. They had a roster stacked with potential stars, but they failed to use it. What could have been the reasons? Was it the unreasonable expectations? It was widely expected that superstars like Beckham, Gerrard, Lampard, and Rooney would do well at the major tournaments. A player's mental health might be affected by the English media. Even as the media relentlessly hypes up England, they are quick to criticize them following a tournament loss. Saka and Sancho's criticism for the finals of Euro 2020 is a current example of this phenomenon. Even the finest athletes in the world can't handle the pressure of meeting the expectations of an entire country and countless admirers throughout the world. Those nerves may be too much to overcome. Was it the lack of qualified management? It's difficult to find a means for a manager to coach players when your locker room includes players who are the greatest in their local teams. Sven-Göran Eriksson coached the Three Lions in the 2002 World Cup quarterfinals, but the fans were so frustrated by his lack of enthusiasm that he quit after losing in the quarterfinals of a major tournament for the third time in a row in 2006. Unfortunately, what followed was a catastrophe. It was Steve McClaren's job to get England into the 2008 European Championships. Many of England's top players, including Gerrard, Ferdinand, and Lampard, realized that this was their best chance to win a championship before their prime years ended. When they lost to Croatia by a score of 3-2, it was a tremendous disgrace because it meant they wouldn't be able to go to the competition itself. With so many talented players, England should have breezed through qualifications. When Fabio Capello took over as England's manager, he helped steady the ship and take the team to the 2010 World Cup. England, however, once again fell short of the absurdly high standards set for them. The lack of a leader who could satisfy everyone's ego on the squad was another contributing factor to the golden generation's demise, which brings us to think that it was then all down to the player egos. The main problem for the England national team was that there was too much potential for too few spots. World-class athletes were plentiful during the so-called golden period, and the Three Lions struggled due to the lack of consistent starting 11. John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Jamie Carragher, and Sol Campbell were all excelling for their respective teams, but only two could start, as Terry and Ferdinand's center defense combo never gelled. The English midfield includes superstars like Beckham, Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes. Because Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard were already starting for England, Paul Scholes decided to end his international career early. Unfortunately, they were not able to work effectively together as a team. It's not enough to simply have talented individuals, the team as a whole needs to gel in order to be successful. Another problem was introducing fresh faces to a squad full of superstars. Players like Sean Wright-Phillips, Aaron Lennon, and Theo Walcott had a hard time making the squad during the so-called golden years. It was only after the likes of Beckham, Lampard, and the others retired did they manage a few appearances. Only time will tell if there will be another English golden generation, or if the current crop of players will do what their lauded predecessors were not able to do. If you think we may have missed some reasons, do let us know in the comments below. Like and subscribe to Sportskeeda for more great football content.